Here we go. I've been wanting to do this video for years, and the time has finally come to, of course, show you guys my entire air collection. Now, before we get into it, and trust me, I want to get into it quickly. I don't want to waste any time, but what exactly is an air? It's certainly not oxygen, it's not AIR air, it's ERROR air, which means a defect. Something is wrong with the car, and to put into perspective for you guys, it is extremely rare for something like this to slip in between Mattel's quality control. With everything they make, they have the production process down to a science. So for something to go wrong, like for Claude Scruggs Leakless here to not have any eyes, it is an extremely small fraction of their entire production. It's probably less than 0.001%, which just goes to show, even though we have about 50 airs today to show you guys, that it is just a microscopic fraction of their entire total production. And yet they do not range up to $100 to $500 like prototypes do per piece. These all cost me about, on average, $15 per piece, which is awesome. And I have found quite a few of them in stores as well. So I cannot wait to share those stories with you guys. And while we go through them, I'm going to be marking down the years that they're from because I want to see how many per year I have airs of, to see maybe if one year was just particularly bad for Mattel's quality control. I think it's going to be fun to see maybe at the end of this, like 2015 was just horrendous. Like maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Could not be. It could be pretty even Steven. We'll see if I have an air from every year that Mattel's been in production making cars. So without any further ado, let's get into it. I don't want to waste any more time. This is one I got off eBay within the last year and a half or so. It's cool that it still has the KB Toys tag up there, which I think is out of business, but I do think that was a store commonly in malls in the United States. But as you guys know, or maybe not, but no eyes airs are my favorite kind of air. And so yeah, this fits the glove perfectly. It's leakless here from 2007 without any eyes. And yeah, you'll get to know all the different kinds of airs in this video, but the no eyes airs are by far my favorite for whatever reason. I mean, everyone has their personal preference, but I just absolutely adore them. And right alongside, of course, these two always go hand in hand, Aiken Axler and Claude Scruggs. This is one I found at a Meijer, actually. I remember the exact store. It was up in Bolingbrook, Illinois. A 2016 Aiken Axler without eyes as well, just perfectly glazed over in that metallic black, which looks so cool. Cannot believe I found it because it's not like when I'm flipping through the pegs, I'm looking and examining every car, you know what I mean? In fact, this was a car that I would not have gotten unless it was an air. Like I wouldn't have even really cared to look at, you know what I mean? I already had Aiken Axler. I wasn't buying like a third or a second or even like another one to keep in the package at the time. So for me to actually notice that it didn't have eyes is pretty crazy, but it also begs the question of how many airs do you come across in a store that you just don't notice? Like I would probably say I've encountered maybe 10 airs over the course of maybe even more than that since 2006 of hunting and going to countless stores that I just have not noticed, and therefore were left on the pegs. In fact, I know of an example of that we'll get to. Here, 2020, we have Sheriff here. This is a Thailand Sheriff that is completely missing his front grille right there. That is a separate plastic piece, but it's also separate from the base as well. It does look like he is not fully riveted as well. You can see in the back there, it looks like, yeah, the rivets were not stamped all the way down. So there's a couple issues with this. And another really awesome kind of air are the ones that are not riveted, which means they are not like fully stamped together. And so they can be separated. All the pieces can be taken apart super easily. And there are some better examples of that we will get to. But 2020 Sheriff is one I got off eBay. Here's another 2020 release of Dale Ruffalo. Now, this is kind of like a no eyes air, but instead of just being glazed over, now the Thailand no eyes airs are always in white. They are not the same color of the body because the eyes are just made a little bit differently. But for Dale here, it's just missing the interior piece 110%. And this is another one I got offline. I think I might have gotten it from GetMeCollecitlbes, which is a perfect time to mention that he is a phenomenal seller. To take a look at his eBay store linked in the description below, or email him. You know, he might have a few airs. I bought probably, 10 airs over the course of the last few years from him. He always lets me know when he gets one in because he knows I'm interested in that, and he also understands there isn't a big market for them, unlike there is for prototypes like we were talking about. All right, moving on to a relatively newer one here. This is one I also got off eBay of K-Pillar Derev. Pretty easy to tell what the air was here. You have a tire from Sheriff instead of the typical Sterling or K-Pillar Derev wheel that he has there. It is interesting to think about if he has it on the other side. I cannot tell. Honestly, I cannot tell. Oh, he does. I can tell, guys. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it in the camera. Oh, yeah, you can see right there. There's a sliver of the white wall. So both of his back wheels are Sheriff's. He stole them. So that's pretty funny, actually. Pretty crazy there. Cool air for sure. Here's a 2023 air. So 1 year later, pretty boring air here, but this one was really cheap. Doug Crankle just has an unpainted mouth right there. It should be painted, but as you can see, it is just the same color as the bumper. So yeah, pretty cool, but again, since these are so cheap, and also to me, it's kind of like getting another Doug Crankle in the package, which is something that I don't mind doing at all. You know, Doug Crankle's a super cool character that's not getting re-released in 2024, so I think it's one a lot of people would not mind stocking up on. This one's kind of weird. This is another 2023 Mater here on international card that I got from Meyer. This one was shown in my last episode of The Hunt. It's also in a short that I posted on TikTok recently. It will be up on YouTube at some point as well. And it just has the punch out from the hook pasted onto the card itself. I could tear it off, but it is on there pretty good. And I'm not going to tear it off because then it really wouldn't be much of an error anymore. But this is a pretty cool one, a very strange one at that. Literally, like when they punch out the hook with the machine, somehow this piece flaked on and it had some sort of adhesive, so it's stuck onto it as well. Super weird, but also super cool. Now, Lisa and Luis, particularly Luis, has a tire issue, a Matchbox tire issue, because we have two Luises here that have Matchbox tires. Now again, yeah, we can see that they're on both sides. They're due to the treads. You can see the treads on either side. So Lisa's front set of tires here is off of a Matchbox car. I don't know what it is. They probably have used that on a couple different models with the orange metallic trim there. But yeah, it's super weird. And I mean, what makes it weirder is that we have another one right here with another set of Matchbox tires, and they're a different set as well. Again, you can see it's both there because of the treads on the ends of them. This one's a little bit more subtle, but also pretty wild. I think one of them was obtained on eBay. The other one was obtained by GetMeCollecitlbes. And so 2023 is already up to... Wait. We're already up to 4 because of the Mater, the Doug Crankle, and the two Lisa and Louise. I was like, oh my God, we're getting up there. And oh my God, here's our 5th one. This one was purchased on eBay. It was a little bit more expensive than I would like to pay, but I really love the no eyes airs. And as I was telling you guys, with the Thailand ones, it's just white. Now, if Caleb Worley was made in China and this was a no eyes air, it would be gray instead. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's not quite as cool as the Chinese no eyes airs, but they still happen. Not on a great card though, but I think I actually got a partial refund because the seller shipped it so poorly. But yeah, there you go. We're already at 5 for 2023. Let's keep the 2-pack grind rolling here with a classic air. This one sat on the pegs for a while at one of the targets. I finally just ended up getting it. I think this was a relatively more common air. I have seen a couple of these like this, which is kind of crazy. It's not as fun when there are multiple of the same kind of airs, but still pretty rare overall. And these aren't my favorite kind of airs. I'll have a few of them in here, but not many. You won't see too many at all because I don't go out of my way to buy them unless I find them in a store. But it just basically shows Ruby Easy Oaks and the Easy Idle Pity, and yet you're getting Chief RPM and Petro Pulaski, which is what the name tag says. So basically the card back is for Easy Idle, and yet the diecast and the name tag is for RPM stuff here, which is pretty cool. This is so nostalgic looking at all that retro Piston Cup team stuff on the back of this packaging. But yeah, pretty good stuff. And he's just like the epitome of an Air because it's so obvious to tell what's wrong. Here's a newer Air, again, 2023. So we had one for 2015 finally. This is now our 6th for 2023. I showed this in a video recently. Lee Revkins here has a next-gen wheel in the back there. You could see that is different from the typical stock car wheel, even though it is still stamped with the Lightyear text as if it was a stock car tire, but it is a next-gen wheel. You could clearly see the difference there. And yeah, that one is pretty cool because I found it in a store actually, so it always feels better. Like that one, the Mater, the Aiken Axler were all found in stores, that one being a Target. And again, the only reason I even noticed it is because for that one, I actually wanted to buy a Lee Revkins because as you guys know, I just reviewed him recently and I needed one to open up. So I grabbed it and I didn't notice it until I was walking to the cash register. I was just looking at my car, you know, because I like cars and I look at it. I'm like, oh, this is a cool thing. I was like, oh, wait, I can't open this and review it now because it's an Air. So it was pretty funny. It worked out for the best because I later went on to find a Lee Revkins at another store with the worst package that I then ended up opening. Here's a 2015 Ron Hover with no eyes. So cool to see a helicopter without any eyes. This one was acquired off eBay. So unfortunately, I did not find this one. But yeah, really cool stuff there. No eyes, shifty Sidewinder here. I think this is from 2014. Yep, 2014 is when they did all this stuff. And then 2015, they released a few, but they switched the card design from more red and then white as the accent. But yeah, I love this one. Also acquired off eBay. And you can see just completely glazed over in green. A lot of people just call these like the sleepy eyes cars. And it makes sense because it literally looks like they're sleeping. So maybe if somebody's psychotic, they'd open all these and make them into a stop motion or something. And just, I don't know. I've heard people talk about that before. I'm like, no, do not do that. Here's another one I got off eBay recently. It's a 2022 release here, which would be our 2nd for 2022. Lightning McQueen with sign. Pretty obvious to tell, again, what the problem is. McQueen's missing all of his decals on his right side here. You can see that the decals are on his other side, so it's not a situation like the tires. I have seen another Air like this on eBay, I believe, and this is something that does happen sometimes where like one side just does not get printed on, so it's not the least uncommon thing in the world, but yeah, pretty cool, and again, one of those that you could just immediately tell what the problem is. This is my most recent Air. I'm not even sure what I would kind of describe this one as. Basically, the eyes are messed up. The eyes are messed up in some way, shape, or form. You can see they're like sunken in a little bit. They're not level with the body. They almost look like they're upside down, but they're not. There's like that weird gray line at the bottom. It's super strange. Super duper strange. But I do like this one, and I mean, I found this one at a store actually, so again, lucky me, I guess, for noticing that, because I would not have noticed that. I have an eye for some of these things at times. Here we have a 2020, this is a 2022 Sally, so that's our 3rd from 2022, and again, you could easily tell right here that her back wheel is just not painted. We're not going to be able to tell what it looks like on the other side. And I don't want to see any comments from people advising me to open this stuff. Come on, guys. If you open these Airs, you immediately devalue it because then it opens the door for people to suspect you tampered with it. Like with the McQueen there. If you open that, you could easily have just removed the decals from one side. Or you could have easily done something else to it to make it look like it's an Air. So don't open Airs, guys. I have one that's open that I won't be showing in this video, and some of you guys may remember it from way back in the day. It's a neon Lewis Hamilton without the headlight in the front. I don't know how I never noticed that, but I opened it up and it was on display for years until I finally got a replacement. Here's another Air that I found in store. You guys saw me pull this from a case at a store. Case T of 2020. I literally found this in a store while I was unboxing a full sealed case of cars. A whole video is made on it. You guys will see. But yeah, it's just Raoul Rule without any side view mirrors. So that would be our 3rd now from 2020. I hope I'm not missing any because I'm kind of going fast right here. I'm multitasking pretty good. 2020 is growing because here we have a Fillmore without any eyes. Actually, that Raul technically is 2019. That Raul, yeah, we're going to go with 2019 for him because it is technically a 2019 case T with the Weedle Lee Rev and Go tractor and all that. But this Fillmore is a 2020 release with the no eyes there. One of the very few from Thailand. I think this is a Thailand release, right? Yeah, this is one of the very few where the Thailand no eyes air looks like a Chinese no eyes air because it's all metal. It's not like they ever tampered with Fillmore's eyes and made it a separate piece. So that's why it is still in that teal color. But very cool to see a character like that without any eyes. Here's another one that you guys have seen before. I literally pulled this from one of the cases that I bought, like a sealed case unboxing that I got from GetMeCollecitlbes or whatever. You could see that the decals were just placed a little bit lower, like 1.5 centimeters or half a centimeter, whatever it is, a little bit lower than where they should be because this window here should be matched up with the engraving for the window. And it's almost to the point where like some of the decals are slipping off the back here, like that white text right there. So very cool. It looks so weird. It almost looks like he has two windows. And I do believe I didn't even notice this one until people started commenting about it because, you know, when I'm going through these case unboxings, I'm talking about the card. I'm not really looking at the die cast. So I appreciate everyone who did that and you guys keeping a good watch on me. I do appreciate that. 2017 is about to get dumb thick right now because here we have Brick Yardley without any eyes, a little sleepy, slumbery brick. But yeah, really cool stuff there. Just a solid green. And then his counterparts, Buck Bearingley without any eyes as well. Looking good. I love these airs so much. I absolutely eat them for breakfast. Oh my God. Here we have another Jackson Storm 2017. No eyes. So bunch of Piston Cup racers here that just got boned. And yeah, Jackson Storm here, for example, is another one where I have seen multiples with the no eyes air. And it's common because they made so many Jackson Storms. I wouldn't say it's common, but like amongst airs, like some of them are just going to be more prone to having stuff happen because just so many were made. So keep that in mind. Here we have Cruz Ramirez without a painted or with a unpainted front wheel there. And you can see on the other side that it is painted, so it's not another one of those situations where it happens on both sides. So 2017 is up to 4 right now, and 2023 is still in the lead though with 8, and I know I do probably have some more from that year, so it will continue to grow, but not for a little bit here because we're going to go all the way back to 2011 with one of the most boring airs ever, but I think my mom actually found this one in a store. And big kudos to her because she was really in the cars and helping me collect when I was younger. This was when I was 10 years old. And so for her to acknowledge and realize that this is not Jeff Corvette, it's Rod Torque Redline, buy it for me is really impressive. Really means the world to me. You know, my mom has just been so great to me in terms of collecting and supporting me over the years. So yeah, this was another in-store find, but not by me this time. And it's our first air from 2011. However, it won't be our last. Spoiler alert. I do like these wheels airs a lot where one wheel is not painted. And yeah, we will not be able to tell the other one because it's completely flush against the back. But yeah, just a completely unpainted wheel right there on this Easy Idle tractor. So 2021 here is when this guy was released. And that is the first air that we have from that year. All right, here's the air I was talking about where it was in a store. I missed it. I came back and I found it. Now, obviously, there was a chance that it was restocked and like I did not miss it, but because how would I know if I missed it, right? But what I do know is that this Target was so bad for months and all they had on the pegs were Sarges and Jackson Storms. That was it. And I got so bored of it one day. I was like, I'm just going to look through all these. I'm just going to look through them all and kind of maybe lull myself into buying one. And then I realized, oh, shoot. This Sarge doesn't have any windows painted. And again, we're not going to be able to see the other side too well here, but completely unpainted there. It should have some sort of filling in each of those squares. So kind of lame, but hey, if I was able to reduce the amount of Sarges at that store, I was going to do it. Full stop. All right, 2017 continues to grow. We're at our 6th now. This is just a Cars 3 Lightning McQueen without eyes. Love seeing that. And again, like Jackson Storm, I would not be surprised if there's a few of these out there because they made so many of them. All right, this is another one from GetMeCollecitlbes from 2019. You have Marcus Kranksler with no eyes, and like we were talking about, made in Thailand, so most of the time, if it's a no eyes there, it will be just flat white on the windshield there. Fillmore is going to be one of those exceptions though, but this still does look pretty cool, and it stands out when you just see a white screen there, basically. Dynaco Cruz Ramirez from 2021. This goes in the category of Lightning McQueen with sign, where one side just is not painted whatsoever. The other side is painted, as you could see there. You could see that there's some markings over there. But yeah, just naked. Naked on this side. And again, this is why you should not open these up, because it would be quite easy to remove those decals with like nail polish remover or some sort of chemical. I think this is our last air from 2011, and it's going to be a no-eyes Fimic missile that is very, very peculiar because this is a Chinese release, and yet it's not painted over in blue. Why is that? Because Fimic missile was one of the grossest cars until about 2016. Why do I say that? Because he had a mouth plate, he had an eye plate, he has this silly little bumper plate back there, all these little plastic pieces that went into him. And then 2016, they just made him a unibody. Mouth plate was gone. The eyes were all part of the same body. He looks so much better. But because that was the case up until 2016 with Finn, this is what happens when he doesn't get any eyes. And it's just basically windows all around. This is pretty creepy. Kind of gives me like Celine Fair type of vibes, honestly. Or it's almost like a real car, but it has a mouth. So probably should not spend too much time looking at that one. Otherwise, I could induce myself some nightmares, and we don't want that. What we do want, though, is another car I pulled out of a case. This is Lizzie here, missing her entire extra wheel, her spare tire in the back, along with the apparatus that attaches to it. It is just absent. It is not there at all. So that's our 3rd air from 2021. Pretty cool, since I found her. I didn't find her, but I got her out of a case, which always kind of feels like you're getting a little bit more bang for your buck when that happens. Here we have the Pixar Fest Radiator Springs Lightning McQueen, and this one, instead of it being unpainted, it's just painted the wrong color. Instead of the light gray, it's kind of like a black gunmetal there, so not the best thing in the world. This was a 2020 release. I think this was our first... You know what? This might have been 2021. Let's see when it was made. This is extremely important for science. We need to know. Why can't I see the date stamp? All right, I'm going to let you guys just kind of look at that back there while I bring this up to my face. I cannot see a date stamp on this at all. I wonder if it even has one. Let's look at the copyright on the back. If it's 2020, then it's going to be a 2021 release. Yep, so this was 2021 actually. So I think I just mismarked it. 2021. All right, I'm going to have to remember that 2020 is only 3 so far, I believe. Wait, no, they're at 4. Did I not mark it? All right, we have Sheriff. Oh yeah, they are at 4 because Sheriff, Fillmore, Raul, and Dale Ruffalo. Okay, see, this is why. We got to be precise about this, guys. All right, we're going back to our 2nd earliest one ever. The first one was 2010. This is 2007. This is 2010 now. And it's a Vern with a misplaced, mislabeled name tag. The only reason I got this from GetMeCollecitlbes is because it was Race Damaged Mood Springs on the name tag. If it literally was anybody else, if it was Lightning McQueen, if it was Duff Rex, or Valerie V8, I would not have bought it. I bought it for the sole reason that it says Race Damaged Mood Springs on there, because obviously that is one of the rarest cars of all time, and it has a little bit more of a pull than, you know, those other cars I mentioned, or literally anybody else. All right, we're getting old here. Going back to 2007 with a no eyes Ham. This might be like my favorite my favorite air ever, because Ham is such a cool character. And to see him without eyes is pretty sweet. So it's definitely top 5. I'll have to take a gander at this in totality and then let you guys know which one is my favorite. But yeah, that one will definitely be in the thumbnail. Here we have a 2008 Daryl Cartrip without any eyes as well. Poor guy, just a little sleepy back there. All right. Here we go, another missed tire. We have Bugmouth Lightning McQueen with a, I believe that would be... Why do I want to say a World Grand Prix Racers tire? Gosh, I don't know whose tire that is, guys. Why do I think it's a... No, why does it look like Fabrizio's tire almost? Dang. Bugmouth Lightning McQueen, though. We cannot tell what the other side will look like, but clearly that is not supposed to be that way. And this is going to be a 2013 release here, so it's our first air from that year. Interesting, though. I know whose this is. It's a Mattel, like, Disney Cars character. It's not from Matchbox like the Louises were, so keep that in mind. But let me know in the comments below. I would really appreciate that. This is another interesting one we haven't encountered yet. I don't really like these all that much, but I got this one because at the time, Fan Favorites Flow was extremely rare. It was that point in 2020 where there was a batch of them, a very, very small batch that came out in like February, and then they didn't come out in full until like July or August or even September at Target stores. So a lot of people thought they were kind of canceled, along with the Luigi and Guido, which aren't listed on the back here. But yeah, I did buy this just because of the novelty of that, and it, yeah, is upside down, which is pretty crazy. And this is a 2020 release, like I said. This happens a lot where the blister is just placed the wrong way. However, I don't really like those. I don't buy those all that much. Actually, yeah, that's the only one I have. Here we have a Bling Bling Lightning McQueen, one of my newest prototypes, and it is just missing the insert of the silver wheel. As you can see, it's got the tire there, and it's got the opening where the silver wheel would be inserted into, but it's just not present. We have no idea what the other side looks like for this one, but this is also one of my favorites because it gives a little bit of insight of how those wheels are made. So that's our third one from 2007, and we have up next a snot rod like that Cruz Ramirez, like the Lightning McQueen with sign, that's missing his decals on the side, being that black stripe there that you do see on his right side, but it is just naked on his left side. Looks so weird to see snot rod without that. So that would be 2008. Next up, we have a Rubber Tires of the King here, No Eyes Air. I feel like this one ran me a little bit more than I wanted to, but yeah, that's a 2010 release right there. And it's my only The King without any eyes. And then here we have the first ever air I found in stores, the first ever air I had in my collection. And it is Sally with Cone. I found this at Walmart that no longer exists anymore. And man, it was so cool when I found this. It's one of my most memorable scores in the store ever. I mean, I was 7 years old at the time in 2008. And yet I remember it still vividly to this day. I was with my mom. What a great memory. But yeah, this got me started on the path, and it probably explains why No Eyes Airs are my favorite. Who knows, if this was a like wheel air or something, then maybe wheel airs would be my favorite. But because it's a No Eyes Air, and yeah, this is packaging is causing some strays over the years. It's not in the best shape, but it gets the job done. And this was actually the first year that Sally with Cone was released. So I had at least the wherewithal to keep her in the package all those years until I kind of became a real person, right? Well, I'm 7 years old. I was such a goof. Mini racer time, guys. Here we have Sterling, the metallic version, I think. Yeah, metallic Sterling, such a goofy release, but his back wheel there is not painted. We're going to have to look at the copyright for some of these because I don't remember exactly when all these Mini Racer 3-packs came out. So that's our third 2019 air then because of the copyright was 2018. This one was from last year. I know this one for sure, and I did show this in a Giga haul lately. The axles are just uber aggressive. For whatever reason, the axles on this Mossy Ivy are like, I want out. So that back one is punctured and penetrated the back tire there and cracked it. And the other one's kind of trying to do the same up front here. It's basically, yeah, I mean, the axles, this was just horribly made. The axles are just so poorly misaligned that it's digging out the tires from underneath. It's so weird. So that's our 9th 2023 Air. Will we get to 10, guys? That is going to be the question of the day here. And the answer is going to be 110% yes, because we have 2 more Mini Racer 3-packs that I believe are from 2023. This is like the Dale Ruffalo, where the Ryan Inside Laney is just missing the interior piece there. So it's just the ghost inside. His soul has exited his body. Yep, that's a 2023 release for sure. So that's number 10. And number 21 is going to be Aaron Kinda Fast here, but also Kinda Blind because, yep, no eyes whatsoever. So as you can see here, this one doesn't have the interior piece that Ryan Inside Laney would have to be missing. It just is painted over like a lot of the ones that we've seen. So there you guys have it. That is my entire Air collection so far. Obviously, it's growing. I love these things, so I'm always buying them when I see them on eBay. There are a few searches that I search all the time on eBay. Disney Cars Prototype, Disney Cars Unreleased, Disney Cars Air, Disney Cars Custom, and of course, Battle Force 5. Because you guys know I love that stuff. All right, as per usual, thank you so much for watching this video. Try and let me know whose tire that is. I have it on the tip of my tongue, and I knew it at some point, but I just can't get it out right now. Actually, oh my God, it's Jonathan Schiffko. Isn't it Jonathan Schiffko? No. Guys, I don't know. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Bye now. How the hell did I not think about Miguel Camino? I messaged our little group chat as soon as I stopped recording. Shout out the Cars Garage. You let me know that these are Miguel Camino's wheels. And yeah, I literally said it feels like World Grand Prix wheels, and I just couldn't get it. Silly old me. But there you guys have it. That is now a complete video. Take care and bye now. And well, looky what we got here. An Air that was hiding under the whole stash. Another additional segment onto this video to show you guys this mismatch card and diecast Air. You have Eugene Carbureski, the Tanko Racer, but you actually have Taco Mint, Greg Candyman here. Pretty boring. There have been a few of these I've seen in my time, so it was kind of like the RPM Easy Idle Team 2-pack where they get mismatched, and there's probably, a handful that have been circulating. Okay, for real now. Bye. Now, I've been trying to end this video for what feels like forever. But guys, I'm telling you, I could not have ended this video without showing you guys a brand new Air that I just acquired. And you might be thinking, well, Mr. Dockett, you're wasting our time. My God, I just want to get to bed. I just need to get to school. I need to get to work, whatever. What could possibly be worth including in this video? And let me show you, because it most certainly deserves to be in this video. It is none other than a Quadratorkosaur that I just found today at Aldi without any eyes. This is now my new favorite Air in my collection, not just because of the story behind it, because I found it and therefore I have a personal connection to it, but just because it is so sick. It is a dinosaur without eyes. It is incredible. Now, of course, because it's from Thailand, you do have the whiteness there and not just the same color of the main metal body. But nonetheless, it is still extremely, first of all, rare to have found. I mean, this is less than 0.00001% of all the production. Probably the only Quadratorkosaur ever without eyes. I am so grateful that it literally decided to come to my hometown Aldi, and was like, yeah, I'm just going to chill here. And I would have bought it anyways because, I mean, the Quadratorkosaurs are just super rare, and I wanted to grab one. It's on a pretty good card. But I did notice that the eyes look super white, like super bright. And yeah, I was like, no way that's a no eyes there. And yeah, sure enough, it was. In fact, this entire video was already completed, edited, uploaded, scheduled to release. And yeah, I'm going to have to take it down, delete it, and then add this part on, re-upload it. But it was worth it because this Air, like I said, it's the new favorite in my collection. I could not wait for, whenever the next time I do an Air video, which may not be for another few years until I get a bunch more. But yeah, guys, all right. I don't even know what to say anymore. Bye, I guess.